5 small habits that make old men smell bad. And how to fix it. There's a moment in every man's life when the mirror tells a quiet truth. The years have not only changed how we look, but how we smell. It's something no one likes to talk about, yet everyone notices. The faint, stale scent that lingers even after a shower. The way a room can hold on to it. The subtle reminder that time leaves its mark on everything, even on our skin. This isn't about judgment. It's about honesty. It's about dignity. Somewhere along the road of getting older, many men begin to forget the small rituals that once made them feel alive and confident. The fresh shirt, the clean towel, the splash of cologne that used to mean something. Life gets quieter, routines get slower, and sometimes self-care slips into the background. But here's the truth no one says out loud. The way a man smells carries his story. It tells the world how he lives, how he respects himself, and how he shows love to those around him. A bad odor doesn't mean a bad person. It means neglect has taken the place of care, and routine has replaced intention. There's wisdom in recognizing it. Growing older doesn't have to mean fading away. It can mean refining who you are, inside and out. Your body is still sacred, still strong, still deserving of attention. Cleanliness isn't vanity, it's self-respect. And sometimes the smallest changes, like the way you step into the bathroom every morning, can transform how you feel about yourself. So before you shrug it off or make a joke, stay with me for a few minutes. Because this isn't about soap or deodorant. It's about 5 quiet habits that can either preserve your dignity or steal it away one day at a time. And once you understand them, you'll see that this isn't really about smelling bad at all. It's about reclaiming pride, confidence, and the quiet power that comes from truly taking care of yourself. Number 1. Ignoring the power of fresh air. Step into any old bathroom, and you can often feel it before you even notice the smell. The heaviness in the air. It's damp, still, closed in. The same towel hanging for days. The same robe left to dry on the hook. The same window that hasn't been opened in a week. And that's where it begins. Not with bad hygiene, but with air that has stopped moving. When you're younger, you don't think much about it. You take a quick shower, rush out, and life keeps the air flowing. But as the years go by, things slow down. Mornings aren't hurried anymore. The window stays shut because it's a little chilly. The towel feels good enough for one more use. Slowly, quietly, the freshness fades, replaced by a faint, sour note that clings to everything. It's not just the smell of a bathroom. It's the smell of stillness. Humidity and bacteria love still air. They find a home in that towel that never fully dries, in the corners of the room that never get sunlight, in the little bits of soap scum that gather in silence. And before long, that smell starts to follow you in your clothes, your skin, your hair. But it's more than biology. It's symbolic. When the air in your bathroom grows stale, it mirrors something deeper. The way the spirit can grow stale when we stop opening up. Just like your lungs need oxygen, your soul needs freshness, movement. There's a kind of healing in throwing open the window, letting the morning breeze in, and breathing deeply. The world outside reminds you that you're still here, still part of something alive. Older men often say, "I don't care about all that." But that's not true. Deep down, every man wants to feel clean, respected, and presentable. Fresh air is a simple start. It's not expensive, not complicated, just a habit of renewal. You open the window and suddenly the damp smell of yesterday is gone. You hang your towel in the sun, and it dries with warmth and light. You step into that space the next morning and it feels alive again. This small act can change the way you start your day. It's not just about removing odor. It's about reclaiming energy. When the air moves, your mind moves. You feel lighter, you feel awake, and it's strange how something so simple, just air, can shift your mood, your confidence, your sense of self. Let's be honest, people notice how you smell. Not in a cruel way, but in a human one. The scent you carry tells others how you live. Fresh air helps you carry something better, not perfume or chemicals, but the clean honesty of nature itself. It tells your family, your friends, and even your own heart that you still care. So open that window. Let the morning in. Wash the towel and hang it outside. Take a slow breath, and remember, you're not just airing out a room, you're airing out a life. Because the truth is, when a man surrounds himself with fresh air, something inside him wakes up too. The smell of age doesn't have to be decay. It can be wisdom carried lightly, with grace on the wind of a new day. Number 2, forgetting to change towels and clothes regularly. There's a certain comfort that comes with familiarity. The same towel hanging on the hook, soft from years of use. The same undershirt, worn just one more day because it still looks fine. It's a quiet, harmless habit, until it isn't. Because what feels like comfort can quietly become neglect. Over time, every piece of fabric that touches your skin becomes a record of your life. Your sweat, your oils, your soap, your breath, they all leave traces. When you're young, your body burns through it quickly. But as you grow older, your skin changes, your metabolism slows, and your sweat carries more than just salt and water. It carries the story of age. That's why towels, robes, and clothes begin to develop that old man smell. It's not dirt. It's the mix of natural body oils, dead skin, and moisture trapped deep within the fibers. Each time you reuse them without a wash, you're layering new scent on top of old. Soon, no amount of cologne or deodorant can hide it. It's not the body that smells anymore. It's everything that touches it. And yet many older men will shrug and say, "I don't see the point. It's just me here." But that's exactly the point. You do it for you, because clean towels aren't about showing off. They're about showing yourself a small act of care. Every time you wrap yourself in a freshly washed towel, you're telling your body, "I still matter." There's something spiritual in that act. When Jesus washed his disciples' feet, he was showing them humility and love. When you clean yourself with something fresh, you're doing the same, honoring the life you've been given. A clean towel isn't just cloth. It's a gesture of respect for the body that's carried you this far. And clothes? They tell a story before you ever open your mouth. A crisp shirt says you're still living with purpose. Clean underwear says you haven't stopped paying attention to the details of your life. But when you stop changing these things often enough, you send a message not just to others but to yourself that you've stopped caring. And that message seeps into your spirit like dampness into fabric. There's wisdom in rhythm, the rhythm of washing, drying, renewing. Think of it as resetting your soul each morning. You don't have to buy new things or spend more money. You just have to care for what you already have. Wash more often. Let things dry in sunlight. Replace what's worn beyond repair. The freshness that returns will surprise you, not just in smell, but in how you feel when you walk past a mirror. And something remarkable happens when you start doing this again. People notice. They won't always say it out loud, but they feel it. That sense of presence, that energy of someone who still takes pride in who they are. Your wife, your children, your friends, they can tell when you care for yourself. They feel safer, warmer, closer to you. You see, odor is never just about the body. It's a reflection of the spirit. Neglect makes both stale. Care revives both. Changing your towel or shirt regularly is a small thing, but small things build character. They remind you that aging doesn't mean fading, it means refining. So tonight, when you walk past that bathroom, look at that towel on the hook. Ask yourself if it still represents the man you want to be. If not, toss it in the wash. Start fresh, because cleanliness isn't just about being presentable, it's about being present. And every small act of care you show your body is one step toward keeping your spirit alive and whole. Number 3, neglecting skincare and body moisture. As men grow older, something subtle begins to change. Not just in the mirror, but on the very surface of their skin. The texture roughens, the color dulls, the once vibrant glow fades into a kind of dryness that feels tight, thin, and tired. It's the skin's quiet way of whispering, "I need care." But too often, that whisper is ignored. You see, many older men grew up believing that lotions, creams, and moisturizers were for women. They were taught that a real man's skin should be rugged, weathered, untouched by anything that smells like flowers or comes in a fancy bottle. But what no one told them is that neglect doesn't make you tougher, it just makes you smell older. When your skin dries out, it traps dead cells and body oils on the surface. It becomes a canvas that holds on to every odor, every trace of sweat, every bit of yesterday. That's why even after a shower, some men still carry that faint musty smell, because the dryness itself becomes a home for bacteria. Water alone can't wash that away. Moisture isn't vanity, it's protection. Your skin is your body's first defense against germs, against time, against decay. When it's dry and cracked, it can't breathe. But when it's nourished, it stays alive. It releases, renews, and refreshes. The scent of a man with healthy skin isn't perfume. It's the clean, natural smell of life. Think of it like caring for a fine piece of leather. Leave it dry and unconditioned, and it cracks. Treat it with care, and it becomes richer, softer, stronger with age. Your skin works the same way. A small amount of lotion or oil, unscented, natural, simple, can make all the difference. It restores what time takes away. But let's go deeper. Neglecting your skin is more than a physical issue. It's emotional. When you stop caring for your body, a piece of your identity starts to fade. You begin to feel invisible, unimportant, old. But when you start caring again, really caring, something shifts. You begin to see yourself differently. You stand taller. You move with quiet confidence. You start to feel like a man who's still here, still proud, still alive in his own skin. Moisturizing isn't about looking younger. It's about feeling human. It's a way of saying, I respect this body that's carried me through storms, heartbreaks, and victories. It's not about chasing youth. It's about honoring endurance. And there's nothing more masculine than that. Here's the truth. The body ages, but dignity doesn't have to. A man who cares for his skin carries a kind of grace that doesn't fade with time. His presence feels clean, calm, comforting. When people hug him, they don't pull away, they linger. Because he carries warmth, not weariness. So tonight, when you wash your face, don't rush. Look at yourself for a moment. Remember that every line, every spot, every wrinkle tells a story. Then give that story a touch of care. Rub in a small amount of lotion, not because you're trying to look young again, but because you still deserve to feel good in the skin you're in. Let that care sink deeper than the surface. Let it remind you that your body is still sacred ground. The smell of age doesn't have to be bitterness or decay. It can be wisdom wrapped in warmth, grace carried in the scent of simple, honest care. When you nurture your skin, you're not just preventing odor, You're reviving something the years can't take away. Your quiet, timeless dignity. Number 4. Using harsh or cheap soaps that damage skin. Walk down the soap aisle in any grocery store, and you'll see rows of bright bars promising deep clean, strong freshness, and maximum strength. That's the language most men grew up believing in. If it burned a little, it must be work. If it stripped every ounce of oil from your skin, that meant you were really clean. But what no one tells you is that those same harsh soaps often destroy the very balance that keeps your skin and your scent healthy. When a man reaches his later years, his skin doesn't have the same resilience it once did. The oils that once kept it soft and protected now come slower and thinner. Those powerful soaps that worked fine at 25 are now like sandpaper to skin. They strip away what little moisture remains, leaving behind dryness, irritation, and that faint old smell that clings no matter how often you wash. It's not the water, and it's not the sweat. It's the skin crying out from being scrubbed too hard and treated too roughly. And in that roughness, there's a kind of misunderstanding, the idea that strength always has to mean force. But real strength, especially in a man's later years, often comes through gentleness. Gentleness doesn't mean weakness. It means wisdom. It means knowing when to protect instead of punish, when to soften instead of strip. Your skin doesn't need to be attacked to be clean. It needs to be cared for. The truth is, many of those cheap soaps are loaded with artificial perfumes, alcohols, and chemicals that create a false freshness. A scent that lasts for an hour but leaves your body more vulnerable afterward. Within days, the skin adjusts by producing stronger oils, and those oils mix with bacteria to create a deeper, older odor. It becomes a cycle. The stronger the soap, the more the body fights back. But there's another way. Natural, mild cleansers. Simple ingredients like olive oil, oatmeal, or aloe vera. Fragrance-free soaps made for sensitive skin. They don't smell fancy, but they let your real scent breathe again, clean and alive. When your skin is balanced, you don't smell like soap. You smell like yourself. Calm, grounded, healthy. And it's not just physical. There's something spiritual in learning to be gentle with yourself. For so many years, men are taught to fight against life, against time, against themselves. But with age comes the gift of slowing down. Washing with care isn't weakness, it's reverence. It's saying, I've fought enough battles. I can be kind to myself now. Think about that moment when you stand under the shower. The water hits your shoulders, and for a few quiet seconds, it's just you and your thoughts. That moment can be sacred if you let it. Using a soap that nurtures instead of punishes turns a routine into something meaningful. You're not just cleaning the day off, you're refreshing your body, renewing your mind. And others can sense it. When someone hugs you, they don't feel dryness or roughness, they feel warmth. They don't smell harsh perfume, they smell comfort. That's the difference between a man who scrubs to survive and a man who washes to live. So the next time you reach for that bar of soap, ask yourself if it's serving you or stripping you. You've earned the right to be treated with care, even by your own hands. Choose gentleness, because when a man learns to be soft in his strength, he doesn't just smell better, he becomes better. The scent that follows him isn't of chemicals or musk. It's the quiet fragrance of self-respect, the clean honesty of a man who's learned that true cleanliness begins not with soap, but with grace. Number 5. Overlooking the small corners, feet, back, and behind the ears. Most men don't mean to skip the small places. It's not laziness, it's habit. You wash your face, your arms, your chest, maybe your hair if you remember, and that feels like enough. But the truth is, it's the forgotten corners of the body, the feet, the back, behind the ears, that often carry the strongest smells. They're out of sight, so they slip out of mind. And as the years go by, those neglected places start to speak louder than you realize. The feet, especially, tell a story. They've carried your entire life, through work boots, church shoes, grass and gravel. They've supported you through every season. Yet for many men, they're washed with little more than the leftover suds from a quick shower. But feet sweat more than almost any other part of the body. Dead skin gathers around the nails. Moisture lingers between the toes, and over time that sour odor becomes part of the air around you. It's not a reflection of who you are. It's just a part of you asking to be seen again. The same goes for the back. Another blind spot. As men age, it's harder to reach every inch. Soap doesn't always make it there, and towels can't dry what hands can't touch. The result is a faint, musky odor that clings to shirts and jackets. It's easy to overlook, but it's one of the main reasons people associate a certain old man smell with age. It's not inevitable, it's just unwashed skin that never got its turn for care. And then there are the small, delicate areas, behind the ears, the back of the neck, under the arms, places that seem clean but quietly collect sweat and oils day after day. That's where odor hides. It's also where renewal can begin, because when you start paying attention to the forgotten parts, something deeper happens. You start paying attention to yourself fully, honestly, completely. There's something humbling about washing your own feet. It's an act of gratitude to the body that's carried you, to the years that have shaped you. In many cultures, washing the feet is sacred. Jesus himself knelt and washed his disciples' feet, not because they were dirty, but because it was an act of love. When you bend down to care for your own, you honor that same spirit of humility and respect. It's easy to think that small details don't matter, but in life, as in hygiene, the small things are what keep us whole. Neglect starts small. A corner skipped, a habit delayed, but so does restoration, taking that extra minute to wash between your toes, to scrub your back with a brush, to clean behind your ears. It's not about being fussy. It's about showing up for yourself in the quiet, hidden places. And you'll feel it. Your clothes will feel lighter, your body fresher. People will notice too, not because you smell like cologne, but because you carry a clean, peaceful energy. There's something grounding about knowing that no part of you has been left behind. It's not about chasing youth. It's about living with intention. So when you stand in the shower tomorrow, slow down. Don't rush through the routine. Remember the places that carry your weight that no one sees but you. Reach them, clean them, honor them, because when you care for the smallest parts of your body, you remind yourself of the smallest truths, that dignity lives in the details, that love shows up in the hidden corners, and that the scent of a man is not just in his cologne, but in the quiet care he gives to himself. Age doesn't have to bring odor. It can bring grace, the kind that smells like soap, sunlight, and self-respect, the kind that makes people smile when they walk past you, because they can sense it. A man who has learned to honor even the smallest parts of himself. Conclusion: the smell of dignity. At the end of it all, this isn't really about odor. It's about presence. It's about the quiet message a man sends into the world when he takes the time to care for himself. Because when a man smells fresh, it's not just his body that's clean, it's his spirit that's awake. Getting older changes everything. The body slows, the senses soften, the energy shifts. But dignity is not something age can take away unless we let it. The scent people remember about you should never be one of neglect, but one of calm, clean confidence. A quiet statement that says, I still care, I still belong, I still live with purpose. You see, bad smells aren't signs of failure. They're signs of forgetting that we're still worthy of care, still worthy of renewal. When you air out the bathroom, wash the towel, moisturize your skin, choose a gentle soap, and pay attention to the smallest corners of your body, you're not performing vanity. You're performing gratitude. You're saying thank you to the body that has walked miles, worked decades, and survived storms. And here's the truth most men never hear. Taking care of yourself doesn't make you soft. It makes you strong enough to stay kind. Strong enough to love yourself and the people who share your space. Because the way you treat your own body is the first way you teach others how to treat you. Think about the people you love. Your wife, your children, your grandchildren. They notice. They remember. They feel comfort when you smell like soap and sunlight. When your hug carries the scent of warmth instead of weariness. It's not just about odor. It's about the memory you leave behind every time you walk out of a room. The smell of a man can be powerful. It can tell the story of decay or the story of grace. And the good news is, you get to choose which one you'll carry. Each small habit you change, each moment of care you give yourself, is a quiet declaration, I haven't given up on living. So when you step into that bathroom tomorrow morning, don't think of it as routine. Think of it as renewal. Let the air move. Let the water wash away yesterday. Let the light hit your skin, because you are not just cleansing your body, you are keeping your dignity alive. And that, more than any cologne, soap, or spray, is the scent of a man who has grown wise, grateful, and alive in his own skin. The smell of a man who has learned that aging well isn't about fighting time, it's about walking through it with grace, cleanliness, and pride.